This is SpyAroundHere, and this is my story on how I lost my faith. So, I'm going to try and get this in a chronological point of view here. I moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania sometime around 2000, 2001, around 9/11. And before I moved, I was 8 to 9 years old when I moved. So, from when we moved and before, my whole household was fairly unreligious. My parents are religious, obviously, but they didn't practice really other than going to mass. I'm pretty sure we'd even go to Sunday mass. We went to what was it? It's the symbol with the little flame. Oh, I forget. All I know is there's a really smelly priest there. But they were fairly non-practicing. After we moved, however, that all changed. We moved within 5 minutes of a Roman Catholic church. My mom's Roman Catholic. My dad was Methodist, I'd like to say. Methodist, or yeah, I'd say Methodist. And my dad converted officially sometime around when I was in Jersey. And after we moved to Pennsylvania, they became a lot, my mom became a lot more religious after a certain event. She was out in the front yard gardening, and her back cracked or whatever, and her back became pretty gnarly. And you know, after physical therapy and stuff like that, she cracked it again and it fixed itself. So she thanked God for that, and she put responsibility on being healed on God, but she totally disregarded actually being hurt to begin with. I don't mention to her only because I don't want to hurt her feelings, because she's so religious that I would make her cry if I brought it up. But yeah, she blamed hurting her back on nobody, and then thanked God for healing her. The least she could have done was at least blame Satan for it. That's what most do. She didn't even do that. After that point, she started going to mass a lot. Something called adoration, where you basically, my mom called it guarding Jesus, but what they really do is they go in the chapel in the church and they do the rosary for like 5 billion hours with some kind of crucifix or whatever the hell it's called up on the wall or whatever, and they just chill there and they take shifts doing it. Like some demon's gonna come in and steal the crucifix. Whatever. And yeah, she became so much more religious after the whole back incident. And, it killed me, man. I couldn't deal with that, because I went from non-practicing to practicing. And it was at that point where I started actually trying to be Catholic. My first time praying, I feel stupid for the story now, but I was maybe in like 6th grade, 7th grade, and I was like, wait a second, what's this praying to talk about? I guess I'll try praying. So I'm pretty sure I prayed for my grandparents, because my grandpa died. So I prayed for my grandpa. And then in the car on the way back from church, I told my parents that I prayed for the first time, and they were like, "Oh, that's great, congratulations." But after that, I was like, what did that even solve? I didn't do anything. He's already dead. And I felt so stupid years after, looking back on this. I'm like, why did I even think that would work? Why would that be a good idea? And that was the first and last time I legitimately prayed. However, I was not an atheist at all. by that point, because I was under the same misunderstanding that a lot of kids had, and that they didn't know that there was no choice, or they didn't know that there was a choice to not believe. I didn't know that. I didn't even know there was an atheist. I was like, when someone first brought up atheism, I looked it up in the dictionary, and I was like, what? I was like, it means without God. And then I was like, can you do that? Is that part of the rule book? Let me ask somebody about this. No, I didn't ask anybody about this, but I had no idea that you were able to not believe. I felt like I was duped at that point. I was not an atheist, but I felt a little tricked that I wasn't given the choice and the opportunity to think about it. So yeah, that disappointed me quite a bit, and my mom volunteered me for any former Catholics or former Christians will know Vacation Bible School, which basically it's around 5 or 6 days, ranging from like Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. I forget how it went, but they combine like a summer camp kind of thing with church, in that you'll do things like play, like just you throw like water balloons, whatever, and then you'll also do things like learning about the tales of the Bible and stuff like that. And then there was people who would volunteer, and these people would be Vacation Bible School runs up to like 6th grade. That's like the max you can go. That's as high as it gets. And then people after that who still want to be involved, they were able to volunteer, and they would help teach, and they would help run the activities. I helped. I forget what I helped in. What did I help in? I'll try to block it out of my mind. I like to say it was sports, some kind of sports in the outside. But every morning we would go in there, and then there would be some kind of mascot. I think it depends every year. There's like a different theme. The one I remember was a squirrel, like a chipmunk or whatever, and they would all sing about Jesus with this really small CRT, or is it CTR, CRT, one of the tubes, one of the tube TVs, and oh, so weird. I just hated being there, but my mom kept forcing me to go, and I didn't stop going until I got in high school, and at that point I was able to realize that I had a choice in this, and that if I didn't have to go, I didn't have to go. But that was terrible. Oh my god. But how'd I lose my faith? It definitely didn't come all through one activity. I remember the day I said it to my sister. My mom was mad at me, and she left. She was going to do whatever it was she was doing. She's probably going to church. And I went to my sister, and I said, I think Mom's gonna be mad at me. And she said, why is that? I'm like, I don't think I believe in God. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I do. And she was like, oh, she'll be mad. And then that's all she really said about it. We didn't really bring it up after that. And then it took me about 2 years before I actually said anything. When I finally did, my mom at first, she didn't think I was telling the truth. She thought I was confused. And later that night, she asked about it again, and I told her, yeah, I don't believe in God. And she said, I said, I'm an atheist. And she's like, what is an atheist? They don't exist. And then I was like, yeah, I'm right here. I'm one of them. And she's like, you can't not believe in God. And I was like, yes, I can. I don't believe in God. And she got my dad involved. My dad started flipping at me and yelling. And I think I might have gotten violent. I can't quite remember, but ew, it was a nasty night. My mic looks like a pipe. I'm smoking a pipe. But yeah, that night was pretty sucky. And this happened again. The same exact thing happened again. like a year later. She didn't ask about it once for like a whole year, and then she and then I had to remind her because she was acting like I believed, and I'm like, listen, I don't believe in God. And she's like, don't say that. She's like, that's not true. And then we basically had the same night repeat over again. And then she had me go talk to a priest, Monsignor Dooley. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I like priests. They're nice guys. Obviously I think they're deluded. But they're really nice guys, and I have a lot of all the priests at my old, or current, technically, since my parents all go there, at my church, they're all nice people. So I had no intention of hurting any of their feelings or breaking any bridges. So my mom set an appointment with this Monsignor. So I went there, and he asked me, why I'm saying these things, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm just questioning things a lot. And then he goes, oh, that always happens with teenagers. It'll grow out of you. And I'm like, okay. And then we had a mass in like his family room or whatever. And I went home, and I'm like, my parents think they fixed me. In my head, I'm like, that was so stupid. I could have been playing like Mario or something. Why did I go there? Oh, that was such a joke. But yeah, I refrained from saying I was an atheist for a while because I didn't want to do that again. And then I did say it again, and my parents threatened to do it again, and I was like, that might have been the first time I said the word fuck to my parents. That was probably the first time. I told them, I told them, what did I say? I don't know if I said like fuck off or whatever, but oh my god. When they heard that, they were like, did he really just say the F word? And yeah, I guess this all really stems from my mom. If my mom didn't have her back injury, I would still be a theist right now. Only because, well, actually, I can't say that for certain, because of the internet, because I go on the internet a whole lot. But I definitely wouldn't have become an atheist as soon as I had, because my mom thanked the stupidest things for God. My mom thanked her back. My mom would thank how nice days are in this specific part of the country, in the world. She would thank God for this one specific part of the world that's having nice weather at the moment. She would thank God for personal achievements that she achieved on her own without any outside help. She would demean herself and tell herself that she is not capable of doing that on her own accord, and she would thank God for that. And I couldn't comprehend why anybody would want to thank somebody else for something they did. Like, if I built a whole tower, I would not go and be like, oh wow, this is a nice tower. Thank you, snail. That was a great help you did watching me. That was a way bad example, but I mean, I couldn't understand it. And it took me a while, and then I'm like, the only way this could work, not the only way, how do I want to word this? I totally lost my train of thought. But, the way she thanked God for everything she did, it made me angry. It really did make me angry. I'm pretty sure I yelled at her for that a couple times. Because it's so demeaning to yourself. You might not notice it if you're a theist, because you obviously believe somebody is helping you, but from an outside point of view, if you're looking outside the box, watching inside, it doesn't make any logical sense. And I couldn't comprehend why someone would do that. And eventually, and things like that, my mom forcing religion on me, and all these things combined was basically the catalyst for me saying, I don't want to go along with this. If this is what Christianity represents, I want out of it.